Good morning and welcome to my channel. Earlier this week I showed you plants that adapted to dry conditions by storing water in their stems. They were stem succulents. And here on this table I put plants that did the opposite. They reduced the importance of the stem. The stem is very short or very insignificant, and its role is only to hold the leaves together, and it's the leaves that are storing water. They are leaf succulents. Okay? They are also adapted to dry conditions, but they store water in the leaves and not in the stems. Okay? Just like with the stem succulents, leaf succulents evolved independently in many families of plants and in many geographical areas independently of each other. Okay, so let's start with this plant, because depending on how you define a succulent, it could be either included in the group of succulents or not. This is a Hoya pubicalix. Okay? It has leaves that are very leathery, has leaves that are covered with a waxy substance, and it can withstand periods of drought and can be not watered for a very, very long time. It doesn't drop the leaves, although in extreme situations this is something that might happen, but it's very resistant and very resilient, and it grows really well when there is no water. However, it likes to be watered. So when there is water, it grows better, and when there is no water, it doesn't die, but it just stops the growth. Okay, and here is another leaf succulent. It's a jade plant, Crassula ovata, and this jade plant has a trunk and has leaves that are very plump, and when there is no water, these leaves fall. Okay, and these are the organs that store water, and this plant can live without water for very, very long periods of time. Okay, and these ones are all plants that grow, that have leaves that grow in rosettes, that grow around a stem. Okay, so this is agava. We don't see the stem. The stem is very densely covered by the leaves, and it's very short. Okay, and the stem is only an organ that holds the leaves together. Okay, and this is Ionium, a plant from the same family as Crassula ovata, as jade plant, but it's not. It looks very different. There is a rosette of leaves on a stem that gets longer and longer, and in time, in nature, these stems would produce roots, and when the plant leans and falls on the ground, the stems would root, and this way the plant would get offsets from the spots where the leaves grow, and that way the plant would get bigger and bigger. Okay, and this is a Cheveria, also from the same family, from family Crassulaceae. Okay, again, the stem is hidden underneath the leaves. It's very short. And this is another Echeveria, which shows the stem because it lost its leaves that were at the bottom. Okay, and again, it is possible to cut the top of the plant off and root it. And it's also possible to root individual leaves here, which is also an adaptation, because that way the plant can propagate easier. Okay, and this is aloe, a plant that has the same growth pattern as these ones. except it's from a completely different family of plants. This particular aloe grew very tall. It had a very long bare stem from which the leaves fell, and I just shortened the stem and I stuck it in the pot, and the stem, the shortened stem, created roots, and I have a shorter plant that is well, looks nicer. What I could have done, I could have also left the stem that I cut off and wait till it produces offsets, but I didn't do that. I just threw it away. Okay, and here is a Haworthia and Gasteria and Haworthia, plants that belong to the same family, look similar, but they are from a different family, from a different genetically they are completely different than aloe and then echeverias and then agave. Okay, and they follow the same growth pattern. They evolution led them to look the same because they grow in the same conditions. Okay, and here is a Sansevieria. Okay, again, rosettes of leaves around the stem. You can actually root the leaves. Okay, each of these tubes, maybe not tubes, I'm not sure how to say this, they are leaves, these structures, and you can root the leaves and then new plants will grow. And this is what happened here. There are 4 leaves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that were rooted and sold as a plant, as one plant in a store. And then, well, actually they were tied in a braid. They were braided together, and it looked awful. But I undid the braid, and now the plant produced offsets, and it looked quite nice. It's a pretty plant. Okay, but as well, it's a succulent. It stores water in the leaves. It doesn't have to be watered a lot. Okay. And these plants are absolute weirdos. They are also leaf succulents. Maybe this one looks quite normal. These are all plants, these 5 plants here, 5 plants, they are from the family Mesembryanthemaceae. And this one looks quite normal. It's a stem, and there are leaves that grow. Whoops. Let me take it because it falls. It is the pot is very light and very small for this plant, so the plant doesn't stand up by itself. It has to be leaning against something. I have to transplant it, but it looks normal. There is a stem and there are leaves around. But these 4 plants are just weirdos. They are plants. They are leaf succulents from the Namib Desert. Okay, so these 3, 1, 2, and 3, they are lithops. Okay, they have pairs of leaves. Okay, and each year, this from between the leaves grow a new pair of leaves. Sometimes there will be 2 pairs of leaves, and that's how the plant propagates. Here, originally, this was one plant, and it split once, and then it split another time. Well, no, it split only once. I'm not sure which one was which. It's a very, very old plant. Okay, but it only split once. No, twice, because there are 3 of them now. So, same thing here, okay? There is a pair of leaves that are held together by a stem, which is very insignificant, and once a year, from between those leaves, grows a pair of new leaves, and sometimes there are 2 pairs, 2 plants, all right? And this is a lithops too. Same thing, that the slot between the leaves is a little bit more carved than in these species. Okay, very interesting plants. And what's even more interesting is that the leaves are usually in nature, they grow in the Namib Desert. And there the leaves are covered by gravel and sand up to the top. And the thing that sticks out is called a window. And this window has fiber optic properties, so that the photosynthesis can occur inside the leaf. And I think it's quite mind-blowing. And this is even weirder, if it is possible, because it's a fenestraria. It's a family. It's a plant from the same family, Mesembryanthemaceae, just like the lithops. And it doesn't have fiber optic window, but it has a lens at the tip of the leaf. And again, the leaves are in nature on the Namib Desert. It's only the window that sticks out of the ground. And again, it's a lens that directs the sunlight to the photosynthesizing, to the green cells that are inside the leaf. Okay? And these plants actually are so well adapted to their conditions that they are very difficult to grow in pots. It's very difficult to recreate the conditions of the Namib Desert. And the trick is not to water them at all, or almost at all. And that's where the difficulty is, because people are tempted to water the plants. It's a natural instinct to take care of something, and taking care of a plant means watering it, and this is exactly what kills these plants. So if you have a lithops or a fenestraria or any plant from the Mesemps family, Mesemps is short for Mesembryanthemaceae, please plant it in a very, very well drained soil. Okay, soil that doesn't accumulate water at all, that let the water go through the particles with plenty of mineral component, and water it very, very occasionally, very, very rarely. Okay, and in winter, not at all. It needs to be watered in the spring and then in the fall, and between spring and fall, very occasionally if it's very, very hot, and if you see that the plant wrinkles, then it needs to be watered. Okay? Actually, if you are curious, I have videos about these plants when they are in bloom, and these are remains of last year's flowers. Very, very cool plants, very nice. But again, they are so well adapted to the conditions in which they grow that they can, it's very difficult to keep them alive in a pot. And also, because they are very, very slow growing plants, and they are very popular, they are close to extinction now, because people are digging them out and sell them on the black market. It's illegal to do that, but still there is a market for illegal lithops. These ones grew from seeds, so they are legally acquired plants. Okay? So this is it. This is what I would like to share with you about leaf succulents. I think they are quite awesome. Succulents in general are quite awesome, aren't they? I really like weird plants, and this is why I have so many of them. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have an amazing rest of the day.